If you ever felt that we had an overdependence on technology and the like, well, today would have confirmed it, as Microsoft have had an absolutely huge outage which has caused absolute chaos globally. And we're going to take a look at the situation today to see if it is simply strange. So the first thing we're going to look at is this independent article which says Microsoft IT outage live. CrowdStrike admits issue as airlines and hospitals plunged into chaos globally. Now, this is terrifying to think that hospitals and airlines, two of probably the biggest people that you don't want to end up in chaos, has ended up in chaos. So, the issues are linked to an update from the cybersecurity company CrowdStrike. A worldwide Windows glitch has taken much of the world's infrastructure offline, and it makes you realise how much the world has depended on a company like Microsoft and the amount of pressure that must put on Microsoft's shoulders. Of course, they're getting paid big time, so I'm sure they don't particularly care. But flights are grounded and TV channels including Sky News have been taken off air. Everything from banks and payment companies to airlines and train companies said that they would see delays and technical issues. Microsoft 365 said the investigation and the problem and continued to take mitigation actions. Follow the live for the outage. So here are some of the key points. This is the full report on the situation, so let's take a little gander at it now. So, the issues have been found across the world, according to the cybersecurity companies. The problem appears to relate to a broken cybersecurity update that left computers unable to start up. Sky News was taken offline, airports were unable to check for in-flights, trains were disrupted. There's no shock there, the trains were always disrupted in the UK, and banks warned that customers might not be able to make payments. Tracking website Down Detector registered outage problems and a huge array of companies: Delta Airlines, Visa, MasterCard, Lloyds Bank, Santander, Amazon, Ryanair, Sky News, Ladbrokes, BT and Microsoft Teams all show issues. It is not clear whether all of them are linked to the problem with the PCs. Delta, United and American Airlines were all grounded in the US, according to the Federal Aviation Authority. Around the world, and flights train operators were hit by problems. Govia Thameslink Railway, the UK's busiest train operator, which runs the Southern Thameslink, Gatwick Express and Great Northern services around London, said it was experiencing widespread IT issues. Ryanair said that it was a global third-party IT outage and advised travellers to arrive at least 3 hours before their flights. Even the London Stock Exchange suffered disruptions. The stock markets dropped on an outage. The FTSE 100 fell 0.8%, seemingly as investors worried about the potential financial implications of the outage and continued for a long time. I mean, 0.8% doesn't seem like a whole lot, but in stocks, that's a hell of a lot. That is really a hell of a lot. We're currently experiencing widespread IT issues across our entire network, it said. It means that trains might be cancelled short notice. Well, there's no surprise there, like I've said. The trains in the UK are god-awful. It means, where are we? And there would be issues getting real-time information to customers. On Sky News, viewers were shown the error message that indicated the transmission had gone down. We're obviously not on air. We're trying Sky News Breakfast, and this was the Sky News Breakfast team. We apologise for the interruptions on the broadcast. It read, "We hope to restore transmission of Sky News shortly." I mean, that's absolutely huge, isn't it? To think that airlines, train lines, Sky News, hospitals and the like, and stock markets, all impacted. And it's all one person's fault. Like, this is crazy. And it really, really puts into perspective how much we truly depend on IT to basically function, to run the world. Like, there is no paper. I mean, obviously the whole thing is so much more convenient, don't get me wrong. I love that everything's online, but when there's a shortage like this, or there's an issue or a glitch, it literally has wiped out the globe. This is crazy. The trouble appears to relate from an issue at CrowdStrike, a cybersecurity company which may have released a problem update. It said earlier this morning that they had identified the issue and rolled the update back, but those computers that were already affected do not appear to have been fixed. On the company's Reddit thread, representatives advised that the problem could be fixed by deleting the update and restarting the computer. That requires administrators to have access to the computer, however, which may not be immediately possible for those being used remotely. On X, formerly known as Twitter, CrowdStrike said that it had found a fix for the problem and specifically said that it was not a result of a cyber attack, which of course, whenever there's an issue like this, like Facebook going down, Instagram, Meta going down, whatever, everyone's like, it's a cyber attack, my information's going to get stolen. Apparently, that is not the case. CrowdStrike is actively working with customers impacted by a defect found in a single content update for Windows hosts. Mac and Linux hosts are not impacted. Come on, that's why I didn't feel it, because I'm on Mac, baby. Wrote George Kurtz, the company's president and chief executive. This is not a security incident or a cyber attack. The issue has been identified, isolated, and fixed has been deployed. This is why everyone should just move over to Mac. Never get issues with Mac, ever. You just have to pay an absolute fortune for them. We refer our customers to the support portal for the latest updates and will continue to provide a complete and continuous updates on our website. We further recommend organizations ensure that they are communicating with CrowdStrike representatives through official channels. Our team is fully mobilized to ensure the security and stability of CrowdStrike customers. And to even hammer home the issue, there is a 7 News article which basically goes into great detail about everybody that has been affected.
Adelaide is in chaos as we go to air tonight. A global cyber catastrophe has brought our city and the country to its knees, and it's being felt right around the world with banks, shopping centres, the airport, some media, just about anything that relies on the internet in a tailspin.
Can we talk about this, by the way? One glitch brought the world to its knees. Literally, to its knees. Flights couldn't work, trains wouldn't work, banks couldn't work and operate, hospitals couldn't work and operate. This is wild. One glitch.
We have extensive coverage tonight from our team of reporters, both here and overseas, but we begin with how this disaster unfolded and what's still being affected.
A catastrophic crash causing chaos, systems down, hit by a global IT outage, grounding flights,
waiting,
and hitting businesses, banks, chemists, servos and supermarkets across the state, the country, the world.
To use cash if you can, systems down.
It was slow going at Woolies in Rundle Mall, cash the only way to pay.
So I had to leave my basket because I came out without cash, without my card. It's just so frustrating.
Servos deserted, Bowsers out of action, and long lines at Adelaide Airport just as school holidays come to an end.
I mean, you've got to realise that actually, like, this is crazy because obviously we're moving into a cashless society. I don't remember, other than when I go to get my hair cut or whatever, or I get the car cleaned, when I use cash. I never use cash. Everything's contactless. It's on PayPal. It's on Apple Pay. It's on my card. You know, I never use cash. And it makes you realise that actually cash being in circulation is still really, really important. Because as much as we are moving to a cashless society, and it's so much easier to not have to manage cash, in these circumstances, the people that had cash were laughing.
If we have to leave and go home, then we go home.
Media hit hard too, including some local radio stations.
No way.
It hit at 3 p.m. Reports of systems down went through the roof all across the country and around the world. Computers showing the dreaded blue screen of death. The hit list is huge. Banks, telcos, broadcasters, even Australia Post, Netflix, Centrelink, affecting all or part of their IT operations. This is no cyber attack, but it is a bad day for Microsoft. Tech experts say it attempted a software upgrade when something went horribly wrong.
It was a software degrade. It just destroyed the whole planet.
Basically sent all the computers into a blue screen of death, which people will be getting right now.
His best advice is to do nothing.
We need to leave things alone. There will be a fix coming out for it, or hopefully tomorrow morning we're going to get up, start our computers, and everything will be fine.
Hannah Ford, 7 News.
Let's go live now to Deanna Williams in Rundle Mall. Dee, how is the outage affecting late night trading?
Well, as you can see, Will, it hasn't stopped people coming into the mall tonight, and that's because the issue here is rather sporadic. Some traders have told us they haven't been affected at all, while others have been forced to close their doors for the remainder of the evening. Many of those...
See, this is the knock-on effect. Like, companies have, like, basically had to shut down trading, which means that they're going to lose out on money. And, you know, if you're an independent business, you might depend on this time of year to make maximize your income so that you can spread that out across the year, for example. Like, this is the kind of thing that people don't typically think about. When you think of Netflix, when you think of, you know, airlines, when you think of train services, yes, it's inconvenient. Yes, it's a nightmare. But those businesses will survive. If they have a night where they don't earn income, for example, or, you know, they have to stop trading for whatever reason, yeah, it's a ball ache. No one wants to stop trading. No one wants to stop earning. But they'll survive. Businesses, independent businesses especially, they might not. And it's them that get hit the hardest by something like this.
And it's been
right now.
His best...
Many of those affected have had to break the news to customers that they can't take EFTPOS. It's impacting on trade. People have been having to go and find cash to pay at the last minute. Some chemists are offline and unable to dispense scripts, much to the frustration.
Again, that's another huge issue. Like, people depend on their prescriptions. People depend, like, they need to get their medication, like, whatever the reason may be. It's another knock-on effect.
Of those having to go from pharmacy to pharmacy here to have their prescriptions filled. Only a short time ago, we've heard from some traders that some systems are beginning to come back online, but it's very slow going. So what would normally be a very busy late night trade tonight is likely to be anything but. Will?
Okay, thank you, Dee. Tim Lester is following the situation in Canberra. He reports now on the government's response.
Oh.
The government says the Office of Home Affairs Minister Claire O'Neill is
The government couldn't say anything because their systems were down as well, so they couldn't generate their scripts.
coordinating its response tonight. It has released a statement to make numerous points. One is that OOO services are apparently not affected by the outage. It also says that this relates to a technical issue with a third-party software platform. We assume that that refers to the US-based CrowdStrike. It says there is no information to suggest that this is a cyber security threat as such, but also to underline the importance of this, it acknowledges that the National Emergency Mechanism Group is meeting to discuss this tonight. That is a national agency designed to coordinate national responses to disasters. So right now, a very stern approach from the government to the problem. One other note, apparently IT departments are now telling us that there are fixes being put in place, not as a result of any patch from a company like, say, Microsoft, but instead by ideas popping up on a line on sites like Reddit with those who have a deep knowledge of computers suggesting fixes and IT departments rushing to get them into place.
Imagine being crowd surf or whatever, you know, like, you would be absolutely bricking it. You have just shut down the world, not just your state, not just your, you know, your town or your city, not just your country, you've shut down the world. You would be absolutely bricking it, because if any, like, lots of earnings comes from this, people are going to start looking at your company, and you're going to have to pay out a fucking shed load to meet those demands. That is crazy. But as well, fortunately, this isn't isn't believed to be a cyber attack of any kind. But what it does lead to is some terrifying ideas, like power a group or a hacking group, for example, let's say Anonymous, the biggest hacking group out there, the power that they would have over the world, and the ability they would have over the world if they were, like, responsible for a hack like this. They would literally take control of absolutely everything. The world would literally be brought to a halt, brought to its knees at the mercy of this hacking group. And they're like dangling a carrot across the country of the world. Like, you do as we say, or we'll just shut down Microsoft forever. It's crazy. It is insane. But what do you guys think on the whole situation? Is it simply strange, or is there something? Is it just an absolute mess up? Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. While you're down there, be sure to jump to get the hell out of that like button if you have found this video informative in any way. Subscribe if you're new, tick on my little bell so you get notified whenever we upload to the channel. And until next time, guys, I hope you have enjoyed. Cannot wait to see you in the next one, and I'll speak to you later. Peace.